I was making armor, and I was cutting a shield out, and it was going to be really, really awesome because I was a little boy with a big imagination, and it was cardboard armor. I'm sorry to deceive you if you thought it was going to be like real metal armor, but no, it was cardboard. But this memory really sticks in my mind because this was the first time I ever received stitches. And stitches are very, well, not necessarily uncomfortable, but just annoying, just because there's now a little piece of thread that sort of sticks out. And it's not like really limp thread, but it's stiff, and it gets in your way, and it catches on things. And I'm doing this because I cut my middle finger as I was holding the cardboard, and I had the scissors. I was cutting along, and I was kind of holding the cardboard like this, so I couldn't see my fingers on the bottom side. And yep, sliced right through it. And it was one of those things where you kind of feel stickiness. You're not sure why your hand is kind of wet all of a sudden, and then you move the cardboard aside and there's red everywhere. You're like, oh wow, I just sliced open my hand. Wow. I've never really liked blood. I mean, most people don't enjoy blood unless there's something wrong with you. But for me, I've just had an aversion to it. I guess you could say I am a wuss. At one point in my sorry little adventure-filled life, I smashed my thumb with a hammer. What was I doing? I was smashing a nail into a small piece of wood, and I brought my hand. I'll never forget this, and you can log this away as something you should not do when you're hammering something. When you're hammering something, put your eyes on the nail or on the thing that you are going to smash with the hammer, because as I drew the hammer back, my eyes shifted from the nail to the nail on my thumb. I don't know why. I was probably thinking, I hope that's far enough away and I'm not going to hit it. And down came the hammer. And of course, where you're looking, that's where you're going. And I smashed my thumb. It turned black and blue underneath. You know, obviously it was bleeding underneath my thumbnail. And it was just throbbing. It felt like, you know, one of those George Jetson episodes where George, he smashes his thumb and it's like as big as his head, and it's going boom, 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 boom. That's what my thumb felt like. So I went to Enumclaw Hospital back when it was an old, sorry little hospital. Since then it's been renovated, a new building, beautiful place. And I was in there in the ER, and the doctor came in with this pen. This was so cool. It was a pen with a small coil of wire that went out and then made this sort of this pointed loop, and then it went back into the pen. The pen sort of looked like a flashlight. It was sort of heavy also because it had batteries in it. And when you pushed a button, this coil turned bright red, like red hot. And so he sort of put my thumb right there, and then put a bunch of, I won't get too graphic, don't worry, put a bunch of paper down and whatnot, and then got this thing red hot and just went right on my thumbnail, which made a nice little clean hole right in the nail. And then it just released a bunch of pressure, and blah, out squirted out all the blood all over the place, and I was screaming, and no, I wasn't. It was nice to relieve that pressure. You know, that's bad. You know, like a really bad pimple. There you go. How's that for a metaphor? It's not good to have that much pressure under the skin, and well, it hurts. But the coolest thing about this doctor was he said, now that this little pen has been used on someone, it's been contaminated by the blood, I can't use it again. Would you like it? Cool doctor. I mean, he totally could have just like put it in the trash or something. He gave me this thing. And he told me, he said, now there are batteries, you know, built into this thing, and you can't replace them. So once it's dead, it's dead. But then he said, however, in the meantime, as it's working, when you push this button, it gets so hot you can carve your initials into wood. So I went back home, and in the same block of wood that I was attempting to smash my nail into, I carved my initials, and it was really, really cool. So if you're a doctor, yeah, give the kids a piece of equipment that turns red hot, and you'll be a cool doctor.